This is cause number 2021-27641 in the interest of Logan Maurice Washington. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Is there? Shara Washington, raise your right hand to be sworn, please.
Oh, there it goes.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
I'm Shara Washington, and I'm Logan Washington's mother.
All right, sir, your name and your relationship to the child.
I am Curtis Young, and I am the father of the child.
All right, and representing the state of Texas.
Peter Sharma for the state, Your Honor.
We have a petition to establish a parent-child relationship. We're having a hearing. Is that correct, Ms. Sharma?
Correct, Your Honor.
Do we have any stipulations?
Yes, Judge, we do.
All right, let's read those into the record.
Of course, Your Honor. Mr. Young and Ms. Washington agree that due to genetic testing, Mr. Young is the biological father of this child, and parties agree that they will do joint managing conservatorship with geo restrictions to those counties. Parties also agree to a standard possession order with a non-disclosure. The pickup and drop off for visits will be at the Burger King located at 5240 Aldine Mill 77039. Again, that's pickup and drop off will be at the on 5240 Aldine Mill in Texas 77039. Parties agreed to the gross monthly income of $2,080. Child support being set at $346 monthly to begin on March 1. Parties agree that the child is carried under the mom's government health insurance program, and Mr. Young will reimburse that at $90 a month beginning March 1. Parties also agreed to retro support from December 16th of 2020 to today's date, Judge, in the amount of $4,281. There is a $2,000 direct payment, leaving a remaining balance of $2,281. The payout for this, Judge, will be $60 a month, and costs will be billed to Mr. Washington. I'm sorry, Mr. Young. Those are all the stipulations that the parties agreed to, Judge.
All right, Mr. Young, is that your agreement so far?
Yes.
And Ms. Washington, is that your agreement so far?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what is the issue, Ms. Sharma?
The issue is the surname, Your Honor. Mr. Young wants the surname to be Washington Young, hyphenated. And Ms. Washington does not agree to that. She wants the last name to be Young Washington.
All right, let's proceed.
Yes. Mr. Curtis Young. Mr. Young, why do you want the child's last name to be hyphenated?
I didn't want it to be hyphenated. I just wanted it to be Young. Logan Maurice Young. And I mean, I wasn't even on the birth certificate to begin with. I just thought that, it would go just like with the birth certificate with Young.
So you would like to have the child's last name, only your last name, but you're agreeing to compromise and hyphenate it as Washington Young. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Judge, I pass this witness.
Ma'am, Ms. Washington, do you have any questions of Mr. Young?
Give 1 second, Your Honor.
Did you say you had a question, Ms. Washington?
Yes, I have a couple of questions, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead. For Mr. Young, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you want your name on something that you really aren't maintaining?
What?
Why do you want your name on something you really aren't maintaining or participating in?
Well, that's what we're here to do right now. For me to participate in it, he has a big family that I have, and if I'm gonna be a part of his life, I would like that he know who the Youngs are. I mean,
All right. All right. All right, sir. That's enough. Ms. Washington, you have another question?
You said you have a big family, so how would changing his name benefit him now or in his future as far as financial support or family support or estate, anything like that?
I don't have no answer for that because I could lose my job right now. And it still wouldn't change if his name is Young or Washington. I just thought that through the years, Young and it being a big family, he would know who we are, not a Washington, a Young Washington.
All right. Ms. Washington, you have another question?
So do you feel as though if his name is Washington, that his family will not accept him as a Young, or that they will treat him any different because his last name is Washington?
No, no, no.
All right. Any other questions, Ms. Washington?
What would be different in your parenting with a name change?
Nothing. I mean, it doesn't change anything. I'm gonna have to be a parent. I'm a co-parent with you. It doesn't change anything.
All right. You have another question, Ms. Washington?
So with the name change, does that mean you will be 50-50 with co-parenting, like actually adhering to the standards of visitation?
Well, right now we're just doing the name change. I don't really understand why all these questions about parenting and stuff. It's just the name change. I mean, if I'm going to be a deadbeat dad or the dad to do the right thing, doesn't have anything to do with the name. It ain't going to change anything. It's just that for the record, you know. I mean, if I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, whether it's 50-50 or however, just the name.
Any other questions, Ms. Washington?
What objections does he have for Young Washington? Like why?
I'm sorry?
I'm
What
trying to
is that?
figure out like what his objections are for just naming him Young Washington. Like, what is the big deal? I don't want to change his full name Young. So I'm just trying to figure out like why we can't just.
Normally the last name is what the father is. But on this case, you're wanting it to be Young Washington, meaning that the father was a Washington.
No, I'm just adding your name to his name to satisfy both parents because he was born and he was raised for the last year as a Washington. Yes, you have been a part of his life, but I don't see why we need to change his name, his birth certificate, anything that he's already doing as far as doctors and daycare to Young when I'm just trying to figure out why is hyphenating it an objection for you instead of just changing it completely to Young.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
Ms. Washington, hold on. Ms. Washington, is he going to be able to say anything to you to change your mind?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So you could ask him 1,000 questions and it's still not going to satisfy you in terms of wanting to change your mind. So, Mr. Washington, do you have, or Mr. Young, do you have any questions for Ms. Washington?
no, sir.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Sharma?
Just one question, Judge, for Mr. Young. Mr. Young, are you willing to pay for any fees with the cost of changing the child's last name on birth certificates or any other record?
Is it going to be, do I need to do that on this here pay right here?
No, I'm just asking for future to change the child's last name. Are you willing to pay for any costs associated with changing the last name?
Yes, if it comes up, yes, I would. I would pay that.
And that's all for Mr.
All right. The court orders that the child's name heretofore be Logan Maurice Washington hyphenated Young. All other stipulations are approved.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes.